So there are three people in this family, three generations. One a young investor, one who's a mid-career contributor, and one who's a retired pensioner.
Here, you're getting a guaranteed rate on a part of your money, which is at least 40% of your corpus, till the end of my spouse's demise. So that's a big mental stability that you're having. Method of compounding, power of compounding interest. The earlier you start with a very small sum of money, you'll get a very substantial sum of money when the person retires.
What can parents teach their kids about retirement? Like, do you think that this idea of the fact that you need to invest for long term? Hello and welcome back to this series about the NPS, the National Pension System. We are in conversation with Mr. Subhasis Ghosh. Now, on this episode, we're going to move away from individual investors and couples and look at an entire family who has been investing in NPS. So, there are three people in this family, three generations. One a young investor, one who's a mid-career contributor, and one who's a retired pensioner. So, they're already reaping the benefits of it. So, could you explain to us how NPS could kind of generate financial stability across generations for all these three people?
Well, firstly, I would like to congratulate this hypothetical family to have got into NPS at I don't know how many years ago, if one person is already retired. But yeah, let me look at one by one how it is. For the person who was retired, when the person would have retired, the person would have bought an annuity with at least 40% or maybe even more, but at least 40% of the maturity amount, the person would have bought an annuity. And that person would then have been guaranteed an annuity rate till the rest of his life or her life, as the case may be. And if the person has chosen an annuity that it will last till my spouse is alive, then we are looking at maybe 20, 30 years of a guaranteed rate. And why that is so important is because generally in India, interest rates have been going down. It's been steadily going down. Therefore, at this stage in your life, to get a guaranteed return with no reinvestment risk. And what do I mean by reinvestment risk? Suppose I take an FD for 10 years. It's the maximum period that is allowed. After 10 years, if I'm still there, I have to reinvest the money. Interest rates could have come down during that time. Here, you're getting a guaranteed rate on a part of your money, which is at least 40% of your corpus, till the end of my spouse's demise. So that's a big mental stability that you're having.
So you're sorted.
You are sorted at least to that extent of your savings for your retirement. So definitely it is giving a benefit to the retired person. Now to the person who is mid-career and trying to and will then retire, this money is saved, as we said, in two ways. Part of the money would be in tier 1, which is purely for retirement, and tier 2, which is used for contingency. So the person has the best of both the worlds, can dip into tier 2 in case there's a contingency, children's education, their education, marriage, and so on and so forth, some other contingency, building a house. Alternatively, and if towards the end there's money left in tier 2, the person transfers the money from tier 2 to tier 1. And then it gets the same exempt benefit which is there in EE benefit, which is there. The entire money corpus tier 1, now tier 2 pushed into tier 1 is fully tier 1 money. That follows the benefit, income tax benefits of tier 1. For the person who's starting early in the career, the pure method of compounding, power of compounding interest.
Yes.
The earlier you start with a very small sum of money, you'll get a very substantial sum of money when the person retires.
So clearly, the parents have taught their kids well, since they're all investing for retirement from a young age in this example. So, how do you think, what can parents teach their kids about retirement? Like, do you think that this idea of the fact that you need to invest for long term should be drilled in at a young age?
Actually, I'll be very honest with you. My father had said that as long as you have a reasonable standard of living, you should try and save 1/3 of your take-home pay. Your bonus and everything put together, whatever you get, you should not have a lifestyle that is exceeding that. Provided, of course, once you're living a decent standard of life, and decent is again person to person dependent, but you should aim for having 1/3. If you want to have a good retirement, you must save 1/3 of your money. I wish in India we have financial literacy as one of the topics to be taught, just as we learn history, geography, civics, and so many other topics, we should learn financial literacy.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, we don't.
Yes.
And I think that's where people are missing out. They look at some financial influencers, they look at YouTubes, and they try to educate themselves. So yes, to that extent, say what the government has done is to put in, for example, provident fund. There you don't have a choice. If you're working, company will deduct part of your salary, 12% of your basic, and invest. Also, will invest 12% from their side. So that safety net is there, but it may not be enough. And there are other methods of investing also, which is there. And because we have seen NPS, because it is invested in equity at your choice, you will get a higher return as opposed to money completely being in debt, which mainly where provident fund money lies. It's mainly in debt.
So, do you think parents should start talking to kids
Oh,
about this at a young age?
Absolutely. Because more so as the current generation that we know is consumption driven. They feel good times will not end. Like we are on that forever. Yeah. You want a very expensive phone, you want a very expensive television set, you want a music system, all that is fine. But you do that live within your means. So if you start saving and assume that the money is no longer going to be there, see, like that's why deduction from salary for an employed person is the best, because you don't see the money. And once you get into the habit of living in with whatever you have, you will develop your lifestyle around it.
So how can a family develop a shared retirement mindset? Like, how can this be inculcated in kids?
Watching programs like this?
Yes.
Maybe Sana, you should talk more about it.
Absolutely.
So that is one. And like I said, is the parents, see, at least in Indian context, where we have got our values from our grandparents, from our parents, what have teachers taught us. We are what we are substantially because of these kind of inputs. I think parents do need to talk to their children seriously about financial investments. I think it's important.
And talking about old age, like NPS is obviously a means to kind of reduce dependency when you're when you cross 60, you're retired. Is NPS by itself enough, or do you think people should have more options as well by the time they retire?
See, I don't think anybody should do only one type of savings for retirement. I also don't think so. I'm not saying put all the money in NPS and forget everything else. I will never say that. So depending upon, again, what your risk profile is, what's your mental state of, even two people with the same income and same expense may have a different risk profile.
Yes.
So it depends upon your risk profile, depends upon the liabilities that you will have when you retire. You may not, let's say you are so well settled, your children are so well settled, you don't have to support them.
Correct.
So then you may take a different set of risk. On the other hand, if you feel that you actually haven't done any money you haven't saved, you actually are dependent on your children. It's true for most Indians. Then you have to really save a lot till you get to the age, till you retire. So you have to save to that. See, ultimately, you must know what is your state of your life is. And at no point of time should be dependent as far as possible. You should be. Whether it's a man or a woman, whether both of them are working or one of them is working, financial independence is something that both of us should try for. I strongly believe that.
So for again older people, you said that a lot of older parents in India are dependent on their kids right now.
Yes, unfortunately so.
Right. Which is obviously, it ends up being a burden on the kid also because, again, cost of living rising, you have your own home loans, your car loans, whatever EMIs you've taken. So do you think that financial literacy in India is currently reaching a level or is likely to reach a level where this will change? Like by the time we retire, do you think our dependency will be lower, or is it just that, cost of living, etc. is so high that, like I read somewhere actually that we will reach a stage where we cannot afford to retire?
See, I'll have to go back to what I told you. It depends how disciplined you are. In fact, I was at a conference recently, 2 days ago, where actually 1 day ago, yesterday, where there was a question asked of somebody who said that there are so many number of demat account holders. There are so many number of NPS holders which are far less. Yet you look at some of the gaming sites, so they have many times more number of subscribers. And the answer that was given is instant gratification versus long-term gratification. If I tell to a person, invest for your retirement, he said, अब तो मैं जवान हूँ, मेरी जिंदगी शुरू हुई है. But point is that you will not be Jawan for all your life. And the earlier you save, the better returns you will have at the end. The corpus will only improve. So yes, there is a dire need of financial literacy in our country, because it is not good to be dependent on them, even for your own self-esteem. Even if your children want to take care of you, for your own self-esteem,
Yeah.
you should not be
Why
dependent
should
on
you
it.
be dependent
Why
on
should,
it?
if you have the ways and means around it? Don't have the ways and means around, that's really very sad. But if you can be, you should be independent on your own. And therefore, I would say adjust your lifestyle such that you don't have to adjust it later.
It's a difficult thing considering we are surrounded by social media, surrounded by everyone living the good life.
Well, this is also a part of social media. See, you and I are talking.
Yes.
Hopefully, there are people out there who are listening to us.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We have one last episode coming up for you. Don't miss that one. Thank you so much.